Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am the Movie Moron, and this is the Movie Moron podcast. I am your host, Easton Moore, and with us, as always, is our practical co-host, Trevor.
Shazam!
Oh, my goodness.
Well, he does not have the power of the wizard because he did not turn into a chiseled 28-year-old man or woman, I guess.
Chuck.
Yes, Chuck. And then the person that referenced Chuck is my all-time wife, Tristan.
All-time wife.
All-time wife.
Mm-hmm. She is
Hello.
an all-time wife.
I am that.
Freshly 27.
Freshly 27.
That's true.
One day removed of her birthday.
She's fresh.
So you can say happy birthday to her on the comments as you retweet
Happy
our
birthday.
There you
episode.
go.
Brandon.
Oh.
Because he's the only one that comments and retweets our stuff.
Go, Brandon.
Go Brandon.
Go, Brandon.
It's
Let's
a little
go,
too close.
Brandon.
Yeah, it's a little too close to let's go,
other
Brandon.
Thing. Yeah, yeah.
Comical.
Yes.
Comedy. We have it.
Do we?
No.
We try though. Yeah, before we get started, we're doing episode on Shazam 2, which is
Fury of the Gods.
Fury of the Gods.
All three of them.
Spoilers.
All two of them. All 5 of them.
Spoilers.
All 12 of them. Or maybe it's just one.
Maybe it's just
No,
one.
there's at least 2.
There's at least Wonder
God.
Woman.
It's plural.
Yeah.
Okay.
All plural of them. Sorry,
Okay.
I'll stop.
But yes, we're doing Shazam Fury of the Gods. Make sure to rate, review, follow, subscribe, all the such. We're on YouTube if you'd like to watch
the
us
such.
talk instead of just listen to us talk. But that's up to you. Okay. Yeah, spoiler free general thoughts on Shazam 2. We're not sure if Tristan watched Shazam 1. We're fairly certain, but she doesn't remember anything, which is on brand. So I'm fairly certain we watched this together in the theaters.
I remember watching it. I just don't remember anything that happened at all.
Like I said, on brand.
Remember the one thing I told you that you needed
The
to know
stuff?
going in?
I remembered you telling me that.
Good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Are you going to start with your journal thoughts? Are you going to
No.
be contrarian? Okay.
Sorry.
She has to bounce off what's being said.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
original conversation starters.
That's not always true.
I am responsive
Yep.
As opposed to proactive.
as opposed to spontaneous.
Ah.
I feel like that's not true at all. But
In my life, it's not true.
on this
in-
podcast,
In
it
the
is.
movie conversation, it is. Proceed.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, general thoughts. Trevor, what you got?
I thought it was really entertaining. I thought this captured the same, maybe not quite as genuine, but I feel like it still captured the same heart and feel of the first one.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, the score is really good. I found myself constantly excited for what was happening because of the music happening around it. I should probably look up the name of the guy who wrote it. Zachary Levi is great. The kids and their adult counterparts, I'm still pretty impressed by with who.
Christoph Beck.
What else has he done?
He has done Ant-Man, Ant-Man the Wasp, Frozen, Free Guy,
Frozen.
The Hangover, WandaVision, Crazy Stupid Love, Quantumania, Edge of Tomorrow, Pitch Perfect, Frozen 2, Hawkeye, Hangover Part 2,
Muppets.
Percy Jackson,
Pitch
Cinderella Story. I already said Pitch Perfect. American Made, Bring It On, Due Date,
That's
Garfield, Trooper
really-
by the Dozen, Red, The Inner...
That's really strange
lot.
because a lot of those are notoriously mid to not good. So that's interesting
Trolls.
that he did this one so good.
She did Trolls. There's a couple good ones here. I mean, Pink Panther. That's a good one. Pitch Perfect. That's not really the score though. It's more of the
Well, he probably did like the
singing
arrangements.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen and Frozen 2.
Well,
Those
like
are-
the Ant-Man.
Bangers.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Edge of Tomorrow's a pretty good one
So
as
he's
well.
he's just working.
Have
what
you
it
seen
sounds
Edge of
like.
Tomorrow?
No.
Oh,
Oh, do you mean Tomorrow Never Dies?
that would be
Or Live, Die, Repeat?
Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah. It was marketed as Live, Die, Repeat, and then it came out to theaters called Edge of Tomorrow, and nobody knew what movie Edge of Tomorrow was. Yeah. No, it was one of it's held as like one of the worst marketing ploys from a producer or studio ever, because the movie's phenomenal and it's got Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise, who are both great, and it's really good. It's really good. I own it. We'll watch it because I love it.
Emily Blunt
Will we
is
watch
married to John
Yeah.
Krasinski.
Okay.
I really like it, and I haven't watched it since I think like 2018 or something, 2017, whenever it came out. I think I watched 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably watched this in college, whatever, when it hit Netflix or something. When Netflix had everything and none of their dumb Netflix originals. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Okay.
Uh,
Score amazing.
Yeah, and the acting, not necessarily the acting really, but the kids and their adult counterparts I really enjoy.
Yeah. Was the older daughter
She was the same.
She was the same.
So
okay.
I
the
don't
way
get that.
the way the Shazam power works is it when you activate it, it helps you reach your full it's you at your fullest potential. So I mean, for the purpose of like, I don't know how well they explain this in the first movie, or if they explain it at all. Maybe it's different. But at least in comic book land, the idea is like you're not at your full potential when you're a kid. You usually have to wait till adulthood to reach it.
Gotcha.
So that's
Makes
why
sense.
they turn into adults.
So
But she
she's
is already
basically
an
already-
adult.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's some Shazam comics where he is an adult and he
Billy Batson.
yeah, and
Is that his
he and he where he is an adult just on his own, and he looks like Shazam. And then when he does the Shazam power, just basically just
Puts his suit on.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't Superman his way out of that.
Right. But yeah, I think that's why. But like I said, I don't know if that's the explanation they give in the first movie, but that's just what I was thinking. So yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'd really get. This was very refreshing to see somebody else's, to get a break. I mean, it's still fairly like formulaic in terms of like superhero movie and stuff, but just to see somebody else do a superhero movie that's not Marvel, that's not, following the Russo brothers or Joss Whedon or whoever.
That's
And I know Joss Whedon's now the DC guy, but
Sure.
still, yeah.
The one complaint I do have about this movie is I do want to feel like I should be intellectually honest between both parties, and I do feel like this is about as Marvel-ish that DC gets.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of corny jokes. There's a ton of scenes that are extremely corny to the superhero genre, but they're at least self-aware in it, which is a little bit better. Like all the superhero landing and that kind of stuff. Like it's really cheesy, but like it's very obvious that they know it is, and they're playing into it, which makes it more like acceptable. But at the same time, like I do have to like there are a lot of really cheesy jokes, a lot of like things that they shoehorn in that maybe don't logically make sense, but are good for like a kid level story. Unicorn being one of them that I've off the top of my head that I'm thinking of, that like it's really stupid and like childish, but like that's totally something Marvel would do to just create a kid interaction with something that they love. So like that's really my only real gripe with the movie in general is like, if I'm gonna crap on Marvel all the time for doing these things, this movie does that more than any other DC movie that like they do.
Right.
And those are the only
I
like
think the first one is also fairly heavy.
It is.
But,
yes. But like other than that,
and I guess how I really should have phrased that or said that was being a DC guy, I've kind of fallen off the wagon in terms of DC stuff in the past few years. I think just honestly, and I don't mean to just crap on Marvel the whole time, but I feel like our constant intake of MCU superheroes, and not just them, but because it's superheroes, it was really nice to see somebody that I cared about. I don't care about, growing up, I didn't care about Iron Man, I didn't care about Thor, I didn't care about Ironheart or whoever.
Sure.
But Shazam I liked, and I like, so it was nice to see him on screen and referencing the other characters. So yeah, but so I'm going to be pretty subjective in this. I'll just tell you that straight up. I don't think my rating is, but I feel like I will be subjective. More
Why
subjective
do I always
in this.
forget about ratings? Man,
It's not like you've done like 100 of these episodes.
I know. I never watch a movie and then I'm like, what is this rate?
You just got to do your gut feeling.
I have to. I don't have time to think about it.
But
Yeah.
overall, I had a really good time with this. I cried a lot.
You cried a lot?
I cried a lot.
Interesting.
Well, just like I said, these
Nostalgia.
I don't, these were my superheroes, and this is what the DC could have been, and it's their own stamp, and I think it looks. While I agree, it is perfectly Marvelish in terms of its presentation. I think it still is. DC is doing a good job of maintaining the look of a DC movie versus a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. I do think that this movie had a chance of having some real balls to it at the end, and
Yeah.
and really, without spoiling, I don't want to say anything else. I won't ruin
Yeah.
I think
anything
we
else.
all. Yeah, I think I know. What you're
Yeah,
talking about.
I don't want to spoil anything. So I think it had a shot of like really surprising its audience and having some cojones to it, and it doesn't quite follow through like I thought it would. I don't know. I won't tell you to what extent that is. But later on we can talk about it. But I was really thought it was going to go somewhere that I didn't expect, and it kind of rounded back out to expectation. And I thought they had I'll go more into it, I guess. But I thought I had a real chance. Like they had the opportunity because of what is happening in that realm. So yeah. Whose general thoughts were we on still? Was it still Trevor's?
I'm wrapping up. Yeah.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Yeah, general thoughts.
I really liked it. And now that you guys are saying because it's a little Marvel-y, that's probably why I like it. Not saying that I really like Marvel, but
They're enjoyable.
yeah. And I also couldn't really tell you anything about Marvel. I also probably couldn't tell you anything about DC, but it was a fun movie.
I will say that I think that this one, the humor still feels more natural. Maybe not the one-liners, but the circumstantial humor or the conversational humor I find was more natural in this than in a Marvel. Because I remember when we went and saw I don't remember which one it was, one of the recent ones, but they were leaving space for jokes. Like they would say the punchline and then there'd be a second for like the audience to laugh. But that I didn't feel that in this.
No.
So.
It was just more like one punch kind of one-liner stuff and action in an action movie that was also kind of kiddish in a lot of them. They also played off of curse words quite often,
Yeah, they did.
which I thought was a weird take for something that's supposed to be geared more towards
That's
children.
what I was thinking too. Because there were babies in the theater.
Oh yeah, we had
There were-
like a legit 2-month-old or whatever.
There were in Dolby.
Yeah,
Like he needs little headphones.
Yeah, I hope he did.
Honestly, though.
yeah.
He probably did. It hadn't really started yet.
No.
But yeah, it's still my turn to talk. So guess what? This is the second movie in a row that there has been someone from New Girl in the movie. Now, this one was in the end credits scene, but Outside Dave was the guy in the end credits scene
Oh my
from New
gosh.
Girl.
Oh my goodness.
Were there
Outside
2
Dave.
end credit scenes?
I don't know. I just stayed around for one.
Okay.
I can
We did too.
use the internet.
Yeah, I thought I read that there were 2, but I was fine with only watching one.
And that one was really bad.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
rough.
was the girl. It was horrible acting.
You wonder why nobody wants to join the Justice League? Maybe it's because you're a huge fucking bitch. That's why. She was.
That was aggressive.
Well, you got the power of
It
Shazam
literally
right in front
sounded-
of you.
It literally sounded like she was like, I say this line, and now I say this line.
Yeah.
And I say it in a really mean tone. And now I say this line, and everyone's an idiot.
There are 2 post-credit
Yeah,
scenes.
that's what I thought.
The second one shows the villain from the first one, Thaddeus Savannah, Mark Strong's character.
Who's that?
This is the bald guy.
Thaddeus Savannah. And I guess he's visited by a character called Mr. Mind. But like I said, that's just bait for future movies, which
Yeah.
at this point, may or may not happen. And I am putting little stock in those reveals
Yeah,
anymore.
because we don't know what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I think Trent might be killing something, but
He's fine.
he might
He's
find a
just-
squirrel
he's
He's
in
just
our
just
house.
making his little noises.
yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
more general thoughts.
more general thoughts.
if you have them.
Zachary Levi. I won't say Zachary Levi. Billy Batson, in his Shazam form, is very annoying.
Oh,
Really?
Yes, he's so annoying. He's fine as a kid because kids can be annoying like that. But when he's an adult, I'm like, bruh.
in other words, he's doing it correctly.
I need your mind to speed up with the rest of your body, okay? It's so
you're
annoying.
you're saying just in general, you wish he would be more adult when he was in his Shazam
Yes.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because he's annoying.
that's the point of it. Is that
I
he's
know,
still
and
a-
it's annoying.
I do have to say that they say that Billy Batson is almost 18 in this. His character as Shazam acts more like a 14-year-old, which is a little annoying
That's fair.
Yeah.
because like an 18-year-old doesn't do this level of stupid. Now he's still gonna have a childish side,
Yeah.
but at 18 you're usually trying to like be an adult. So like you would act like an adult in most situations because you feel like you're an adult, so you're going to try to act like one, and he acts like a kid even though he is an
Yeah.
adult.
Well, if we want to really get into it, this there's a subplot to this where he's trying to come to terms with the fact that he is having to become an adult. He's going
Yeah.
to age out of the system. He has some again, the T word keeps getting brought up in movies nowadays.
Yeah.
He has some trauma he has to work through.
To be fair,
He
if
does.
anybody does, he does.
Right. But
Sometimes they bring up trauma and it's like
but what I'm
my
saying
fish
is
died when I was 7. Like,
maybe
okay, bro.
Shazam is a way for him to be like, oh, look, I am an adult and that's okay. I can still be me.
Yeah,
And then he maybe leans into it.
maybe. I'm just saying I do see the argument
Yeah.
of like it
And I'm
being
just
too
being
far in that direction
Mm-hmm.
because like he does act more like in the first movie he is supposed to be like 15.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he is this way, but he doesn't seem like he's matured as Billy Batson.
You know who
At
else is
all.
annoying?
Mm-hmm.
The other kid, Freddie, as an adult. Freddie
Oh.
as a kid
High
is
ego?
fine. Yes.
High ego makes a little bit more
Well,
sense.
yeah, I know, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh, chill out.
That one makes a little bit more sense to me because as a kid he's
Look,
a
I'm
crippled
not
and
saying that it doesn't make
bullied,
sense.
and
I'm
he's
saying
still
it's
like a
annoying.
nice guy through it all. But then when you
Mm-hmm.
get those powers and you get the looks and everything, you're like, I can like,
I just wish he was like more himself as an adult.
and eventually he does
Mm.
because he learns that his power isn't his true power; it's himself.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. Good night.
I don't think that's
giving
a-
everything away.
I don't. You're right. That is the moment in the movie.
Joke.
Everything leads up to that moment.
Yep. The one moral of the movie. Okay, well, your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Mhm.
What was the Anna something?
Yeah.
De Armas.
No, I wish
Anna
she was
Maria?
in this. Anna Maria. What is her
Is that her name?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
the
girl.
third god,
The what?
the third goddess.
Of the 6?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The
No,
youngest,
of the 12.
the youngest of the goddesses.
Oh, right. The 6th of the 6th.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Well,
I'll
okay.
help you. Here.
Well, please find it for me
Yeah.
because she's in something else that I really enjoy, and I'm trying to put my finger on it. But nonetheless, my general thoughts are: yeah, this was a lot of fun.
West Side Story, Hunger Games.
West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story.
Yep.
I was about to say there was something that she was in that we just watched.
She is Maria.
Yeah,
I thought the youngest girl,
yeah.
and they're talking about stuff, and they don't want her to know what they're talking about because they remember that she's like 9 or however old she is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Eye
Oh,
doctor.
yeah.
Going to the eye
meeting her
doctor.
friends at the eye doctor.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I wish they would do more of that humor with her in her
Yeah.
adult form.
There's some good bits.
Kristen, you got me saying adult form now. There is. I feel like there was more of that in the third act of the first movie, where she was.
The technical term is superhero Freddy, superhero Billy. That's what it says on Letterboxd. It's not their adult form; it's their superhero.
well, and what's funny is so Shazam is not actually. I mean, well, there's we were talking earlier about how Live, Die, Repeat and Edge of Tomorrow are the same
Yeah.
thing. For a really long time, Shazam was not Shazam's name. Captain Marvel was his name.
Oh.
Yeah, and Shazam is just the magic word he says to turn into Shazam.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
But then Captain Marvel came out and
Well, I don't know how. I think there was some stuff going on with that. I don't know how much. But I think nowadays when they make the Shazam comics, I think they just label them as Shazam.
I feel like there's no way they could get away the legal route of naming a superhero Marvel when your competitor's name is Marvel.
I think this guy came first though.
So I guess they have some legal rights the other way.
I think
of being
so.
like, you named your whole entire company after our superhero.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I think that you can do that. Have Captain Marvel and then Marvel the comic books, but when Marvel came out with their superhero Captain Marvel, I think Shazam was actually first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about two different things here.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was funny. There's a line in here where he says, "What's my name?" and somebody
Yeah.
says Captain Marvel. One, I was like, I'm surprised you got away with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
but
too.
number two, yeah, and so I was like, haha, I did the little Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good jokes in this. I don't say that it being comical is necessarily a 100% bad thing.
Uh-huh.
It's just that this is the most Marvel that the DC has gone is these movies.
Especially with the Suicide Squad. Well, and Black Adam was also pretty serious, or took
Yeah.
itself fairly seriously.
Black Adam was, I think, in the same realm, but I also think Black Adam and Shazam are kind of in the same realm in
They
general.
are.
They're considered. They get the same
They
same
are,
gods,
yeah,
the same
yeah.
everything. So I think they did those movies tonally kind of the same. They just did Black Adam a little darker because he's supposed to be a darker character.
Yeah, he's
He's
anti-hero.
He's supposed to be the Deadpool of Marvel. I just say that
No.
as in like he's the anti-hero.
Hmm.
He's the guy that does bad things and kills people, but he's still necessarily a good person. He's not.
an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's not.
Because
fourth
Deathstroke
wall.
is the Deadpool of
That's
the
fair.
DC.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I felt like Black Adam was trying to be a Deadpool. Is what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
maybe movie-wise.
Yes.
But
Okay.
what you got?
I don't remember where that sprouted from, but
We were
I
talking
really
about
enjoyed it. The comedy, although was not bad, it just made it feel more towards the Marvel stuff, and not just that, the corniness that I talked about earlier. This movie does have quite a bit of emotional terrorism, I think. Not a
Oh,
term.
I did cry a little bit.
Not a term
I
I
did cry a little bit.
not a term I came up with, but a term I use often when watching movies. Not necessarily a bad thing necessarily, but they do definitely create very easy ways to just one scene cry moments that aren't like huge. Like it's not like the whole movie is sad. They just try to
You know what?
create moments of emotion, artificial emotion.
Right.
So
I often know now because of you that movies are doing that to me, and I just lean in. I'm like, you know
I
what?
just let it happen.
It is what
Yeah.
it is. You're doing your job.
No, yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing because like it's not bad to try to create something that has emotional weight to it or whatever, but sometimes these action movies such lean way too far into the artificially creating an emotional moment just to get a tear out of you in an overarching like action-based comedy movie because they feel like they have to have some sort of emotional tie to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you will.
Which isn't always bad. I'm just saying it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You're just acknowledging its presence.
What else here? Maybe this is some misogyny coming out, but the college lady,
Mary.
Mary.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah. Her suit was tight. And
And short. I
And-
noticed she was the only one with a real short skirt.
yeah, and she's very large knockers, and it was hard to get past it sometimes.
I didn't
just saying.
notice.
I also didn't.
What? Okay, well,
Listen,
next time you watch it, you probably will because it was hard not to notice. The first time she showed up in like the Shazam thing, I was like, "Holy shit!" It's like right there because it's also right there with the Z, and it.
right there.
You'd be well, it's a good thing they haven't put Power Girl in the DCEU yet.
Well, her push-up bra was working
some-
hard.
The Wonder Bra.
The Wonder Bra was
It's
working very
the
hard.
Wonder Bra.
Okay, is that a real thing?
Yeah, that was also a quote from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Sorry.
we haven't seen that, Trevor.
I know.
But other general thoughts? Not a whole lot. I don't remember the score at all, so that's odd.
Makes my heart sad.
That's okay.
Oh, you missed out on it. Look it up.
Probably.
YouTube. Shazam 2. Original score.
I do think some of the plot stuff in the last act was a little forced.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the stuff that transpired. I don't think it was ultimately a killer of the story. It was still fine. But I didn't like some of the stuff that they kind of forced there at the end to try to get us with our BBEG. What?
Go on.
But yeah, I also like all of the kids. I thought they all did really well.
Yep.
The mom and the dad are great again in this. Much more of a limited role in this one,
Yeah.
but still
Not
killed
bad,
it.
though.
No, but still very good and heartwarming when they were there. There's a lot more of a focus on the 6 of them? 5? 6 of them. Since the original Shazam, you didn't introduce all of them having powers until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
It was much more integrated in this story, which had its ups and downs. But yeah, all in all, I did enjoy it. I had fun.
This does. I want to talk about this in spoilers, so I'm kind of saying it so you guys can hold me to it. There's a thing that was talked about in the first movie that they really address in this one, and I'm excited to chat about it. Just I think it's funny.
Okay.
The one of the goddesses. She
Number 7.
is she in Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it.
Yeah. Talking
Oh,
about
Cameron Diaz.
yeah, Ian Chang? No.
Oh, you're asking if it's
That's not-
Liu Lee.
Yes.
Is it Liu? Is it her?
Lucy Liu.
Oh, that's what it
Lucy
is.
Liu?
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know.
She
I don't
is.
I think it's
her.
Lucy Liu.
You're
Oh,
right. Yeah.
good.
She's in it.
Okay.
Shazam.
Well, I don't know if that's how you say the last name or not.
Yeah, I think it's Liu.
Liu.
Yeah.
Liu.
Liu.
I don't know who Ian Chang
Oh
was
yeah.
in this movie.
I'm right. The
He's
the
young, one of the
brother.
younger brothers. He's wearing glasses in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
he's-
He's
yeah.
the nerdy one.
Yeah.
Oh, he
The-
does not look like him at all in this
Yeah.
picture. Okay.
Oh,
You
Helen
don't
Mirren
see him
was
very
Hespera.
often. I was having a very hard time differentiating the adult forms to the kids.
Really?
Yes.
There are
Because you see the
literally
kids-
6 different races.
You see the kids for like 2 seconds.
They very
Listen to me. You see them for like 2 seconds in the beginning, and then they turn into adults.
I know, but they
How am I
ver-
supposed to remember what they look like?
well, there's one black girl / black lady. There's one Hispanic kid /
I just said
adult.
you see them for 2 seconds. How am I supposed to remember everyone's races in 2
There's
seconds?
2 white kids and 2
I'm
white
tired
adults.
of you. Quit that.
One white woman.
Stop that. I'm gonna scream at you.
Let me know if you do. I need to take the headphones off.
Got it.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Was there something else, Tristan, or should I keep egging you on for
No.
more content?
No. You're frustrating.
As always.
I was gonna say this is week 2 of frustratingness, frustrations.
This is week 157. Okay, anything else? Okay, so just on to recommendations.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is great fun in the theater. You'll get a couple laughs. You'll see some action. Oh, another general thought: the CGI in the first 20 minutes was bad.
Is that the bridge?
The bridge scene
Yeah.
was bad. It got better later on, but it started off rough. And I was like, that was another thing of like, if I'm going to shit on Marvel for their cutting corners on CGI and just like, well, it is what it is. Here's a movie that's 95% CGI and 60% of it's bad.
Yeah.
That whole bridge scene in the cars and the wires breaking, all of that was really rough. And I don't think it was needed.
I thought it was fine, and we've talked off air about this. I don't trust my VFX gut anymore.
Oh wait, no, you weren't there for the Last of Us thing.
That was me.
No, but
Yeah.
that's what started it. I saw the discourse, and I just saw people being like,
Everything,
that giraffe looks so bad, and then people being like, bro, it's a real giraffe.
everything but the giraffe is fake, but
Yeah.
the giraffe is real. And
It
everybody,
looked fake. It looked
everybody
so
thought
fake.
the giraffe was fake, and everything else was.
So just like that, like, and then I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but like that, and then all the Way of the Water stuff and Quantum Mania, like,
People get so mad when I say that Avatar looks like a video game cutscene. They're like, "You've never played a video game in your life, then, because I know where." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I fucking played shit ton of video games. If anybody knows what a video game cutscene would look like, it's me.
but I just can't judge it, and I don't know. My objective brain is like, maybe you just like, does this look good? If it does look good, how do you know it looks good? Does it look real? Well, guess what? It's not real. So then it's like, if it doesn't look real, then it must just look bad. And so I'm just with VFX man anymore. I need a hard reset on it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's fine because it all just seems like it's how your eye personally perceives it, and some people don't see the issue and other people do, and some people will say like, you'll see one thing and be like, "Oh yeah, this is great," and somebody else will say it's bad, and that same person will be like, "Oh, this looks great," and they'll so like
yeah, exactly.
it's really just what your eye sees in that specific scene or movie. I guess your mind just believes that then,
Yeah.
and then it may or may not change. But okay, but I also do recommend it. I just want to say a thing about the CGI because that was at the beginning of the movie, and I had a mental note to say something because it was really rough. But okay, well, you got 3 recommendations. If you want to go to the movie, this is a good movie to go watch and have fun, have some laughs, a couple tears at the end. You don't really have to see Shazam 1 if you don't want to. It's not major. Everything that happens in that is pivotal to the story, they have a flashback for. But the first one's decent too. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it for the spoiler-free part of the review. So we're going to take a short little break and listen to our ad, and then we'll be right back for the spoiler part of the review. All right, we're back.
We're back.
After that short little break, and now we're going to be talking about spoilers of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So, if you haven't watched it, you can go ahead and pause it and come back after you've watched it, or just continue listening, even though we're about to spoil everything for you.
Spoil the crap out of this.
Yeah. Okay, so we had a couple different things we wanted to talk about, or we wanted to talk about when it comes to spoilers. So, Trevor, what was the thing that happened
they
in...
made abundantly clear in this one.
That he doesn't have the wisdom of Solomon.
Oh.
Oh.
Because in the first movie, that I remember just listening to different podcasts and stuff, people were talking about how he doesn't ever really get presented a chance to like test that, and even when he does make decisions, some of them are like real dumbo decisions. And I think,
Didn't he do something in this movie that was really smart?
well, they explain it. They say like
It comes later.
he says you're wise in your heart or something like that. But I think what this movie is supposed to be, what it's supposed to be doing is everybody, the 7 of the things, the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, all of that, I think is supposed to be representative in each of the kids. Like, I think they all can fly. I think they all can do the lightning thing, but then like the youngest is really fast, so she has the speed of Mercury, and
They
then
all had the speed.
she does, and
They all do.
in the bridge scene. I guess yeah. So like that's the confusing part then. But I just remember from the first movie, people were talking about how he doesn't really exhibit the wisdom of Solomon, and then this movie they address that why that is.
I just wonder if it's something that's more abstract than just like straight intelligence 24/7.
Yeah.
And more of like a baseline wisdom. Like he outsmarts the queen at the very end, like or not the queen, the goddess, and that's how he wins. So he technically wins through wisdom. He doesn't win because he's fast or strong or whatever. It's that he thinks of a way. Like he's like, oh, is this some sort of battery? Blah blah blah, and he comes up with a plan to trap the goddess. So like, there's some wisdom there, and I think maybe that's just people conflating wisdom and intelligence.
Yeah,
there is a difference between the two.
Anybody who's played D&D will tell you that.
And we do.
Yeah.
Not Tristan.
Yeah, but that was nice that they addressed that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, multiple times. Oh. What?
Nope. Oh.
Okay.
I didn't have anything.
Okay. Well, I the spoiler stuff I think of as just towards the end and the plot stuff.
Young goddess, that's easy to tell pretty quick. That new girl is.
Oh,
young goddess.
yeah.
Although, like, there was a couple things in this movie that were just kind of like why is she in the school?
Yeah.
Why, and they don't really talk about that. She's just there.
A new student.
Yeah, but like, does she say she's looking for somebody or something? I don't know. But yeah, so like, then why is she in the school?
She's a new student.
Right, but I'm saying she's a goddess.
Yeah, she's 6,000 years old, Easton. She doesn't need to be in high school.
So what's the point of her being there?
Because Freddy knew the gods.
But she didn't know that.
Yeah, she
Freddy
did.
No, she didn't.
She saw the picture on Instagram of him with his superhero friend.
He didn't know that. She didn't know that Freddy was a god.
She knew that he knew them. That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why she was trying to be friends with
That's
Freddy,
fair.
and so that she could get and connect with the gods, so that they could turn
And then
on.
when he turned
Yes.
into that, she said, "Oh, where's Freddy?
Yeah,
I don't
she
want
didn't
him
know
to
that.
get hurt."
Yeah, and it was also I thought it was pretty. I had a pretty high inclination that she was not as bad as her sisters and would maybe side with them, which
ultimately she does.
Yeah, which I thought was good.
Well, and then ultimately, I guess Hespera kind of sides with them too.
Yeah, which also makes sense.
Yeah.
Why are they different ages? That's confusing.
I don't know. Are you different age than your brother?
Not.
You mean like why is one of them very old? One of them looks like an adult, and the other one's a
It
child.
looks like a grandma, a mom, and a daughter.
I think it's just the age differences. I think it's still there. I think it's just by like thousands of years.
Yeah, it's because so
That's
gods.
messed up.
Well, so gods live forever, quote unquote. So you could have a daughter at 12,000 years or 1,200 years old. You could have another daughter at 6,500 years old, and you could have another daughter at 28,000
What you're
years
telling
old.
me is that they age very slowly.
Yes.
Well, and
Also, this is some hardcore pedophilia, but
oh goodness.
she's 6,000.
I know.
That's
He's
fine.
17.
That's fine.
I guess
movies though are pretty consistent with not caring about that kind of thing.
Women being older than men.
No, just like when someone's like if someone's a
Yes.
deity or whatever.
As long as they look the age
Yeah.
as the other person,
Yeah.
they deem it as okay.
Right. Basically.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You're just being a pigeon.
Yes.
I liked that we got a lot of the kids just being kids, especially toward the second half.
Yeah. You kind of have to.
Yeah. Wait, kind of have to.
They got their powers taken away.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that
Yeah.
that's what I liked.
They had to.
Yeah. And so getting to see them be with the family and kind of be their own unit and just be them was nice.
Yeah.
Although I guess a lot of this movie is you don't have to have the power to like. The reason you have the power is because you are you kind of thing. So
Yeah, which I thought that was fine, a little corny. I thought the wizard explaining why like I chose you and that's good because you also chose your family was a little weird.
Especially when you spent the whole movie being like, I'm an idiot because you're not the right person.
Yeah, but also like you're also the wizard. Why didn't you just pick the whole family?
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, I guess the knowledge, like, it was supposed to be or Billy Batson knowing that, like, everybody has the power to be good and whatever if they have the chance to prove it. Well, then why doesn't everybody get the Shazam power and get the chance to prove it? Like, it's just some...
Yeah, it's some weird... They need to get away from this origin stuff quicker.
Yeah, or everybody has the ability, or like everybody has power within them and can be great if the power is shown or whatever. Like,
yeah, right.
That line also is starting to get way overdone, and it's starting to get pretty muddy when you logistically think about it, which I can't not do.
Yeah. Wizard and Freddy shenanigans are fun.
Yeah,
I like seeing them together.
Me too.
Freddy sneaking around the throne room. Although, I mean,
the knocking over the table
was a little like
that was a little much.
Yeah, but him getting there was just the whole idea of like, yeah, don't look it, but I'm pretty sneaky kind of thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, and your knees crack.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I didn't care about.
I like that. What does he have? Do we know?
I think he's just crippled. I mean, in terms of like, I think one of his legs maybe has grown wrong or something. I don't think it's like from
it's
an
not
injury.
Like cerebral palsy.
No,
right?
No,
yeah.
I think it's just like one leg has something wrong, so he probably can't put full pressure on it all the time.
Yeah.
So like he
Or
still
can't
has
stand
function
up
with
straight or
it.
something.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like they had.
I don't
said
think they
like a
solidified.
diagnosis or something.
No, I don't think they ever say. Well, if they do, it's probably just a throwaway line in the first one.
My point of that was that I really like him as a teenager, and I like that he doesn't like throw a fit about or make a big deal out of it ever. Like when his crutches, when the kids like bend it, he just grabs it, picks it up, bends it back, doesn't like make a big deal out of it, and then when he gets put in the whatever dungeon place and he doesn't have it, he's not like, I can't do blah, 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 I can't do this, I can't do that. He just deals with it until he gets it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool, guys.
No, and and this movie does, I mean, I know we were kind of poking fun at earlier in terms of like, how do you tell which is which? Oh, just look for the stereotype kind of thing. This movie, for as much as we were making fun of it earlier, it is good that we have like a good representation. And so, like, anybody could come in and watch this and identify with one of them, you know. So,
and that's supposed to be another, like, a cool thing about, I mean, the foster system and I mean, the foster system, I think as a whole, can be very bad. But this is supposed to be showing a good light on it. And like, if you get a good host family, like, you can create a family out of many different people in different walks of life and background and stuff. Yes, Finger?
That's something at the beginning when he's like pretending like the pediatrician is a therapist. You know what I'm talking about?
Why is the Annabelle doll in there? Did you guys catch that?
No.
The Annabelle doll is sitting at the table.
I saw a doll there, but I didn't realize that's who it was.
That's funny.
But anyway, they do that, and then it's like, yeah, Billy, you're kind of messed up and you have stuff to work on because this. But then nothing comes of it.
Yeah, they don't do anything with it. I think that scene was just there to show, like, to tell the audience all of the trauma that he's been through and why he doesn't connect with his family and doesn't want like, he feels like his family is just there to like get him to the next step of where he's going to be alone. Yeah. Like, they're there now because he's there with the system. Yeah. But they're just there and they're just friends because they're in because they're in proximity. Like, you make the best of what you've got, blah blah blah. But then once I edge out, I'm done and I'm back on my own. And that's just the way it is. That's like, nobody wanted me, so I'm gonna be alone. That's just my life. Yeah. So I think they were trying to like that was a way to vocalize
got that.
So
but I don't like that they didn't continue with that.
Their therapy lessons.
Or just getting him whatever. I don't know.
No, I'm asking.
No, nothing. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, I think they got some resolution with it at the end, the parking garage scene. Like, I think that was the payoff to that scene.
Yes, okay.
With
well, my problem with it is that people who need to talk about things and need to work through things are like, watch this, and they're like, maybe this is my problem, and then what do you do about it? Nothing.
You wanted to see some real follow through.
Yes.
You
thank
go
you.
kill a motherfucking dragon. That's what you do. Gets rid of all of your problems.
Why are you this way?
I like the dragon. I also
It was
liked
creepy.
Freddy's resilience to any of the mind stuff. I thought that was pretty a cool feature
Me too.
that he's able to push through that.
Yeah, and I think they showcase it early on with all the bully stuff of why he's able to do that.
That's fair. Yeah.
He's just dealt with it his whole life and learns how to compartmentalize that aggression towards him and deflect it and not have that fear. And that's exactly what the dragon was fear.
Fear. Yeah.
I don't really know what the voices were, but something to do with
mind control.
Yeah.
yeah,
the
but
voice-
but I don't know, like, I don't know how Freddy had that wherewithal to get around it. Other than that one wasn't shown as much as the fear one, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that too. But I think that was also going towards the theme of, like, you don't need your Shazam powers to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're stronger than you look and all that kind of stuff. So, I did like the Freddy and Anna relationship stuff.
Mm.
Even though there was a 6,000 year age gap, still worked out well.
I dug that all the creatures that came out of the tree were all like Greek.
Those things were
Roman
nasty.
things. Yeah, like harpies and minotaurs and or ogres or cyclopses and things like that. It's all Roman and like Greek mythological things, and I thought that was a really neat nod.
That was disgusting.
Yeah. The only thing I disliked about all that was going to be where I don't like where the act goes in the third act of what's her name? Oh, that's not the right button. Calypso's just turning all of a sudden out of nowhere to we've had this singular goal our entire lives to make our world back to what it was before, and all we need is this apple and the staff to plant it, and it'll be the world it once was. And she, just because she fought Shazam and that family, she now is like, oh no, now your whole world has to die at the suffrage of my world.
Yeah.
And then their entire lives have been trying to avenge their father as sisters from the person that killed their father, and then she's just fine with murdering both of her sisters. Like, none of that tonally makes any sense on how, I mean, these people have been living these lives for thousands of years with this singular goal of, like, once we get out of here, this is what we're going to do because we want our lives back the way that they were, blah, blah, blah. But then to just, in the blink of an eye, just decide to murder both of your only family left. She was completely fine with murdering them after doing everything out of revenge for her father, apparently. Like, if you have such a love for your family, or if you have that much sense of revenge, it's because you love somebody that much. You love your family so much that you want to get revenge for them. You wouldn't just murder your other family just because of really no real reason at all, other than, like, they're not deciding to change their plan within 20 seconds of hearing yours.
Yeah. Well,
I just didn't like any of that.
Well, and to play devil's advocate just a minute,
Absolutely not.
they make reference that she's the goddess of chaos pretty often.
That's fair.
So I was with you until you said you're wanting to change the plan at the last second. I was like, well, that's something that, like, is invoking chaos.
Possibly.
But I agree that it is weak.
Yeah.
But
maybe that is what they were going for. But
if that is, like I said, it is still weak.
it's really subtle, and because their home planet still would have been in ruins.
Yeah.
And, like, the youngest goddess says multiple times that like the soil isn't right, and that's why it's creating all of this evil here. So if it was planted
planted in a baseball diamond.
yeah, if they planted it in Athens.
Yeah, something.
That's so weird that Athens is a real place on the world, and apparently it's also the Greek. Is that the place? Is it called Athens?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Okay, the place that the gods
Mount
were.
Olympus.
Maybe it was Mount Olympus.
Yeah,
that's probably more. That's probably right. Okay, but if they planted it there, it would have sprouted life. That's why it was called the seed of life.
Mm-hmm.
Which also doesn't. I also don't understand why why they wanted to stop them from planting the seed of life there.
I don't think they understood what.
But the wizard did.
They still could get to Earth,
Maybe because at the very end they talk about how maybe the gods need to live among the humans too.
Oh, they talked about how there was like jealousy or whatever, and so maybe he was just scared that the gods would just kill all the humans or something.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess so that's why he trapped him in there, but then it rotted.
Oh, the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Unicorn looks cool. I like the
does.
all black unicorn.
Yeah. I didn't like the Skittle stuff.
Yeah, it was I liked how it started, that it's like, oh, it's ambrosia or whatever. That was kind of neat. I didn't need the one-liner.
You didn't need Taste the Rainbow, you mother.
No,
No?
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't particularly care for 11-year-olds swearing.
Sometimes they're funny, but
Sometimes, but not in this superhero movie context.
Yes. It's funny as in a that's terrible thing, not
Yeah.
funny as in that's funny thing. That's like a dark humor
Not
thing.
funny, ha ha, funny. Funny,
Oh.
weird.
Funny that's terrible. Okay. But yeah, that was the only like spoiler thing that I want to talk about, is how I didn't really like how the sister stuff kind of happened.
Yeah.
But I did really like the infight that we got with the sister putting the dome down and the staff and all of that. But what I was going to say was the third act strips the power of Shazam from everybody but Shazam himself, Zachary Levi, Billy Batson. Yeah. So I thought it was going to go one of two ways. One, the staff is broken, it's split everywhere, nobody else can get their powers back. Shazam is the only Shazam, so then you have a singular Shazam, and that's why he goes to the Justice League or whatever, is because he's the only one with that power, and like now it's his responsibility, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then they like kill Billy Batson off. Like, oh, this is actually even better, because one, it was extremely sad, good stuff there, blah blah blah. Sacrifices himself, does the ultimate selfless thing. But I mean, we have a reset in the DC universe. This was the time to just do that. Just kill Shazam, or this Shazam, and now you have a fresh slate. But instead, in the matter of 2 seconds at the end of the film, everyone's resurrected, everybody gets their powers back. Wonder Woman Gal Gadot comes out of nowhere, and all of the bad that happened throughout the movie is swept away within 2 seconds. So I thought they were going to have the balls to do it.
I did too.
And then they didn't. And I wasn't happy about it. Because either do it or don't.
Yeah. You see Wonder Woman earlier in the dream?
Yeah.
They weren't showing her face, like purposefully not showing her face. Like cheesy not showing her face. And I was like, okay, that's really dumb.
Yeah.
That, like, I was just irritated about it. And then I'm like, did Gal Gadot not want to do it? Like, were they just being too cheap to not have her? Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But
I definitely thought it was they haven't decided if Gal Gadot is going to be the Wonder Woman in the future, so they didn't want to show her face, because then you're solidifying it.
Stupid.
But overall, now I like that bit, because it's playing off of your preconceived notions that they're not going to show her face, because then it's solidifying who it is.
Yeah.
But in all reality, they were completely fine doing it.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Hello. The point of my story was that I liked that they showed her at the end. I agree with you about the him dying, not dying thing. But when she showed up at the end, I'm like, okay, that was fine that you didn't really, or like it makes it not as stupid.
That's also playing out the first movie. There's a Superman quote unquote cameo.
Yeah.
And and Henry Cavill wasn't able to make it in for their various stupid Warner Brothers reasons. Yeah. Oh, and also, anybody listening that might be like, "You guys are idiots. That was a deep fake." It wasn't. It was not a deep fake. That was actually Gal Gadot. She was there.
Why in the world would that be a deep fake?
Because they posted a picture of the double that they used for that dream sequence.
Gotcha.
And people on Twitter just went wild with it, and they were like, "You couldn't even get Gal Gadot. The DC blood is blood." And then the director was like, "No,
It's
you
a different
idiots."
scene.
Yeah, and
Where her face is not shown.
right, and like Gal Gadot is an A-list actress.
Yeah,
Like
we're
she
not
can
gonna
have
pay-
a double. She doesn't need to come in if she's not going to show her face.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that totally makes sense.
So anyway,
Although you could totally tell that wasn't Gal Gadot. I couldn't anyway.
How much are you looking at pictures of Gal Gadot's body?
The way
Or
that
do
she
you
was
know it-
standing, her arms were like weird and skinny.
Mm.
Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. She's like, she's still thin, but
she's buff.
she's like,
She got some muscles.
the other one was not holding herself in the high esteem that Gal Gadot does.
That's true. Gal Gadot does hold herself quite well.
Except in Wonder Woman 1984.
We're
Even
not
still,
talking about
she's great.
that.
Yeah,
We're
I
talking
did.
about Fast and Furious.
Which one?
I
7, 6, 5. One of them.
I think it's 5. Okay.
I didn't mind so much that he died and was resurrected. I don't know what all that entails because we don't actually see Kid Billy Batson past that scene. It's only Zachary Levi, and even in the end credit, it's just Zachary Levi. So I'm not sure what all is going to come of that. I'm sure nothing, but yeah, I didn't mind it so much. I was more excited to see the Gal Gadot cameo in the whole idea of there is one God left, kind of thing, which there isn't. Oh no, because at that point, the youngest goddess is human. I forgot.
Not anymore.
Human.
But at that moment, she is.
Oh, okay.
Because Wonder Woman shows up, she's able to give her back her godhood.
Yep.
So, but that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Just
Like I
think
said,
seeing
everything that happened, all the consequences, wiped away.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
But I mean,
Bing bang.
I guess just like I don't know what the future is going to hold for this,
sure.
and so this could still be it as far as Shazam goes. I mean, I'm sure it won't be, but like they could just drop the kids. I don't know the kids. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna go down our comic book rabbit hole.
That's okay. There also were a bunch of times throughout the film where like they were straight idiots just to progress the story, which I was upset about.
The kids?
Well, I mean the superhero versions of the kids, yes.
Oh.
Like sometimes they were like legit gods, and other times they were just fumbling idiots. Which was a little annoying.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times they lost their Shazamness because they just stood there as they got hit.
Yeah.
The consistency of the lightning fastness is upsetting. For example, like when they got the apple, why didn't Mary just dash around like Flash for 20 minutes? Dragon would have never caught her.
Yeah.
So it's just inconsistent is what I'm saying. So it's
They're having a problem, I think, right now, deciding where their power limits lie and what they can actually do.
That's another problem when you create not just one hero that is basically like unkillable. You have 6 basically unkillable heroes. So I think that was probably just the problem they got into, and they needed them to be killable, so they just made it happen. But it was annoying from time to time.
Yeah.
With how many times everybody except for Shazam lost their powers.
Right.
Or the Shazam. I don't know.
Well,
they're all Shazam.
They
so.
the most for Zachary Levi, so that would make sense. Well, just
fair.
to show his face, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's fair. Okay, you guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Ratings.
Oh, dang it.
3.5.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'm between 3.5. So we'll see what happens when I've put it in the letterbox in a year from now. But it'll probably be, somewhere around that 3 to 3.5 range. I'm really split between the two, but very enjoyable.
Cool.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're going to be doing John Wick Chapter 4 next week. So make sure to listen for that. It is, as of right now, rated pre-ratings the highest John Wick movie of the 4. So should be phenomenal.
Wowza.
Yeah. So yeah, be ready to listen to that, and we've got another big one after that, and another big one after that. I think it's D&D, and then Super Mario Brothers. So
we're getting closer to our wager
Yep.
we made. Yeah,
yep, D&D is going to be the first one. Wait, somebody did John Wick.
I think it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Wait,
we'll
did
have
you do D&D?
I did D&D.
He did D&D,
and then
yeah.
you did.
John Wick? D&D? Super Mario.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you begged Easton for it.
That's true.
Stop.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe, comment, all of the above. And we'll be back next week. Bye, guys.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.